Hello, it's my daughter's turn to introduce the program because I've done about the last half dozen, I think. So, Lauren, it's up to you.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's episode of TV, It's All We've Got. I am your co-host, Lauren Danikian, and this is my dad. You know him well. His name is George Danikian. Say hi to everyone, Dad.
Hello, everyone, and hello, daughter. How are you?
See, that good, wasn't hard. How are you going?
That wasn't
No,
hard.
It never is hard, really. I just have to do it. That's all.
Correct way.
Once I get over,
do you want to set up the program?
Yeah, sure. I'll do it.
Okay, off you go.
So for those of you that haven't tuned in before, welcome. Dad and I have been doing this for a few weeks now, starting to get into a little bit of a groove, we think. Basically,
you can tell us
this
differently.
Is an opportunity.
You can tell us differently.
Feel free in the comments below. Dad and I have challenged each other to watch TV shows that the other person has loved, that the other might not necessarily think to watch. So it has been a very interesting challenge so far. I can guarantee that we have been perplexed at some times of the choices that the other person has made. Other times we're completely on board and surprised. So this week, I gave Dad, I think, a challenge. That's probably the biggest one I've given you.
Yeah.
And it probably will be the biggest I'll give you.
Can I just say, this idea emanated from my daughter's mind a number of weeks ago, and it was some way of sort of getting over this lockdown malaise that's covering Australia, except for WA, which has never really been part of Australia, if you really think about it. But if anyone from WA wants to secede, Lauren and I don't have any qualms or problems, okay?
If you have a house to stay in, I will happily come visit.
Okay, all right. The idea, of course, was to discover a little bit about each other, seeing that my daughter and I haven't really spent that much time together for years because she's based in New South Wales. I've been based interstate. Firstly in South Australia for a time working for the 10 Network, and then of course in Melbourne. So it's been a long time apart, and this has been a unique opportunity for us to find out a whole lot more about each other and actually surprise each other with why we think the way we think and what did we do wrong, especially me as a parent. Why was I vacant or indeed not there when I was needed to be there? And can I just say, I think this show that you asked me to sort of take a good look at, sort of contemplate, made me think for a long, long time that you just wanted to punish me. And then I thought, no. She's not trying to punish me.
How dare you?
She's trying to get me to look within myself.
Wow.
And my wife walked past at the precise moment I was thinking, my daughter wants me to look within myself. And she said, why are you watching a chick flick?
Yeah, these are all the shows you missed out on when you were safely in Adelaide or Melbourne.
Or Melbourne, correct. These are the ones that, had I been your father at that time, sorry, a more indulgent father, a more with it father, I would have watched these shows with you, I'm sure, wouldn't I?
Oh yeah, you would have been stuck watching them, I think is the key word. Is that Siri?
Siri was so excited.
Is she telling you what's what now?
Siri was so excited. She said, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat it? No, we're not talking to you, Siri. Thank you. But that's the sort of rapport. I think
she probably can't believe we're having a real honest moment right now.
But look, the one thing anyone who's watched these podcasts will discern, you'll come to the conclusion very quickly. We do speak very honestly about so many things. There is literally nothing we won't talk about. And there are so many things we missed out on over the years.
We're catching up on lost time.
That's what we're doing. So
Yeah.
getting back to the show, it's called
Yeah.
My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, stars of Rachel Bloom.
Just Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. No
who's
ownership over
she's not only an actress, she's a singer,
Should be
she's a
anyone's.
dancer, she's an executive producer. It seems to be that's the way of the world these days. If you want something done, just do it yourself, which is what Lauren literally took to take out of this particular show. And that's why we have a podcast. TV's all we've got.
Yeah. So Rachel Bloom
is crazy,
who is the creator of the writers as well.
Yeah.
She originally started off doing improv all through college, but then also was creating YouTube videos. And Aileen Brosh McKenna, who is a writer and has created some of the great movies in Hollywood, got together with her and had this idea that she wanted to create a show called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. That was the only idea they had. And then when the two of them got together, they realized that they could create this
mayhem,
kind of wacky, quirky world with music and, you know, follow all the tropes of rom-coms, you know, that we've grown to know, and flip it on its head. And it's
that's
quite a delight.
That's exactly what it does. And it takes a little convincing to stay the journey. Mind you, there are so many redeeming features in this show. All of those redeeming features I could not find in another exercise you gave me the week before. Remember, I said to you in White Lotus, there wasn't one character I felt any empathy or sympathy for. But this show, at least, I empathize with a number of characters, sympathize with some, enjoyed some of the work that they did. I watched, I think it's about 14 episodes of the first series. I cannot believe there are 4 seasons of this. I thought it wouldn't have enough to go with. I mean, how many times do you have to tell your friends you're seriously in love with the boy that you first fell in love with when you were 16? And now we're talking about a woman who's gone to Harvard. She's had a fantastic, stellar career in New York as a young lawyer, and she chooses to go to West Covina,
California,
which is 2 hours to the sea or 4 hours by the road. I think the funniest character and the one that gave me the most clarity, Lauren, was the 3 or 4 or 5-year-old daughter of her boss, who at one stage looks at Rachel Bloom and the character and goes, "She's crazy.
She's crazy.
Or she's nuts."
Says the girl who has snails as pets. Like,
exactly. I'm thinking, you got it. She got the best line of the whole show.
Yeah.
So Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, if you haven't seen it, is crazy, but it's entertaining. And guess who the characters are that I warm to?
I mean, Greg, I would assume, the bartender.
I actually like the character. At first glance, you go, but you warm to him. I even like his choice in women.
Heather.
The next door neighbor, who at the beginning starts off as a whacked and really laid back young woman, actually I find appealing in a crazy sort of way.
She gives it back as good as she gets, you know.
Absolutely. and I love that bit where she turns to Greg, and as they decided they're going to hook up again, and they're about to walk away on it and go on a date, and she stops and she goes, no, this. You need this. And it's a book on commitment for idiots.
Idiots. I need to find one of those, actually. If you could, maybe that'd be my birthday present.
Or the book.
No, the book, please. Just the book.
Right. Just the book. So if you're thinking to yourself, maybe this show has something going for it, but you've got to understand it can break off at any moment throughout the whole production and go into song. And it's not only Rachel who will sing, it's just about anyone. And Greg at one stage plays a beautiful piano piece and sings.
Yeah.
He even does a dance number at West Covina. I'm not so sure I'm a Josh character.
No, I don't like Josh.
Oh,
Sorry.
I tell you who I was blown away by. The girls at the camp, who at the beginning were just little bitches, and at the end came to her assistance. And I thought, hey, that's a sisterly moment.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of a big message. Like if you were to watch the rest of the seasons as well.
So why do you watch?
I know you won't.
Why do you love it so much? Why do you love it so much? Does it sing to you? Literally.
This does sing to me. And I sing to it a lot of the time as well. You know what it is? It combines a lot of things that I love. Do you know, it's this whole idea that if you cannot speak to how you are feeling, there are songs out there. Exactly. There's songs out there that help you feel that emotion
I think
and help you understand that emotion better.
I think it's the first rule of advertising. If you can't say it, sing it.
Sing it,
So this has an element of that, but there's much, much more. You need to tell me, what is it? There's much, much more to this show.
Yeah.
And that's what I want you to tell me about. What drew you to it? Why did you stay the 4 seasons? And why do you have it on instant replay?
Yeah. Okay. So I heard about it, but it was always on a channel that we could not access, right? Being here in Australia, sometimes we miss out on some of the best things until a year or 2 later, and then we finally get our hands on it. When I started house sitting, someone had Netflix, and it was always one of those shows that I said to myself, once I get a Netflix account, that's the first thing I'm going to watch. And I did. And I watched the first season and I fell head over heels in love with not only the characters, but the character arc. I fell in love with the music. I fell in love with just the words. It was so intelligent.
Just tell me you didn't fall in love with the medicine or the prescriptions or the pills.
No, that came much longer. Like,
oh no!
Well, because you haven't watched.
There's one horror moment where she's in her psychiatrist or psychologist, Lou. Yeah, and she sees a pill on the ground.
Yeah,
I mean, what is that? And more importantly,
that's desperation.
What sort of message is she trying to pass on to anyone watching, where she tries to force herself through the doggy door to get into the house to steal? I'm thinking, this is a lawyer. What the heck? She's crazy.
Yes, she is a lawyer. And these things are possible. I mean, if you watch all of the seasons, you will realize that the issue of mental health does make an appearance. I mean, they definitely hint at it early on in the first season, but throughout the seasons you learn more and more about her diagnosis.
Well, we should also say that she's had a traumatic start as a youngster. Her father left the family very early on in a way that really shook them. And I think she's never really recovered. And there are times, especially in season 1, where there are moments that make her chill, you know. And I'm not saying chill with ease. She literally freezes because those moments come back and haunt her. I hope that none of those moments reflect anything in our past, Lauren.
No, well, I mean, admittedly, I was very young when you
were when
so
your mother and I separated. But my goodness, it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. So I guess I'm lucky in that sense that I don't remember any of that.
But are there any residual wounds? Or are we just working them out?
There obviously must be. Because like we've said earlier, you know, there were times when we didn't talk that often. And I know that I definitely started to pull myself away because I was just sick and tired of being disappointed because I couldn't see you all the time. Do you know what I mean? Because I wanted you there for things.
Yep.
And you couldn't always be there for them.
Correct.
And I
Correct.
understand that now.
Yeah.
But as a kid, you just always want people around you, right?
Gotcha.
That's just
Gotcha.
that
Gotcha.
unconditional love.
All right.
So yeah, I mean,
So we're
there's
doing
definitely
a parenting.
times.
So we're doing a parenting 101 for all mums and dads watching, or potential mums and dads watching. Don't leave your
Do you know
children
what?
alone.
Well, the thing is,
And that's
I
serious.
wouldn't change any of
We're
it.
not. I wish I could have changed some. I
No,
should have.
I don't
No.
think we had to.
I think there's one time I've told you about many times that haunts me, and that's when you were at high school, and I remember at the time that you were getting bullied. I found out that you were being bullied by was it year 7 or 8? What year was it? The bullying
Oh, it was
not from the
it's
beginning,
almost every
surely.
year, but yeah,
Was
let's
it from the
call it
beginning?
7 and 8.
Was
Yeah.
it 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that I said to your mother, I'm going to go and broach the subject with the headmistress, because one of their mottos is, you give us your daughters and we turn them out to be fabulous, young, confident women. And I'm thinking to myself, well, how do you do that? By bullying them and or allowing them to be bullied. And I remember your mother saying, no, chill, just chill. You don't want to exacerbate the situation. And I remember, fast forward to your graduation, I remember saying to you, so it's graduation night and I'm here, and on reflection, did we do a good job? And you went, no. I went, oh. I was crushed. I'm still recovering.
I mean, look, the person that I am now, I like so much more than the person I was then. And I think that is because I have had those experiences that were tricky, but I've gotten through them. And so now it's made me appreciate everything so much more. And,
That's good.
you know,
That's good.
yeah. And I think this show, like, all jokes aside, really helped me identify that a lot of the things I were dealing with were actually mental health issues, that it wasn't something that I was alone with. There are a lot of things in this show that I can relate to. And yes, fine, we make jokes about, you know, the way girls act and that, yes, they're crazy, but there is so much stigma around mental health.
Absolutely.
And the fact that this show addresses it as openly as it does, you know, it just shining a light on mental health issues in a show that is, when you look at it, it's quirky and it's fun. They do handle a lot of dark, emotional. It is hormonal. Of course it is. It's all over the shop.
It's all over the shop.
But it's
and it's
It's
frantic.
relatable.
Yeah, and the music is pretty good, and it's very
so
smart.
Clever.
Yeah, it's very smart. So on that level, I give it a lot of kudos. I'm not sure I will see out the 4 seasons.
Oh no, that's fine.
Will there be a 5th season, or has it finished?
It's done. It's done. They only wrote it as a 4-season thing.
And we're talking about 18 episodes for season 1.
Yeah.
So imagine how many episodes they've done. So tremendous effort. And if it is a show that can shine a light on a really dark subject, which is mental health, which is so many of us are struggling with, and especially with the onset of the COVID pandemic around the world, so many people have had to endure solitude and isolation that they didn't see coming, nor did they anticipate. And that makes it even harder. So if the show can break down some of those barriers, can shine a light, then it really does get quite a bonus. So the characters are really interesting. I'm not a Josh character. I don't mind him breakdancing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't see
White Josh is pretty cool.
Look, it's an interesting show, and it talks about a lot of topics, topics that I
racism,
seriously,
feminism, sexism, all the isms.
To me, it's all the moments with misuse of medicine. I thought, where is this going? But you're right. If it goes on and talks about all the anxieties and those things that do exist in the lives of young men and women, and even the antics that go on, the posturing and the office politics. Very interesting, and really dealt with, especially with Pamela, or should it be Paula? Paula Proctor.
Yeah.
Who's capable of just about anything.
Oh, she'll do anything for someone she loves. That's the kind of mama bear you want. Like,
correct. And you have a few mama bears like that in your life.
Oh, I have too many mama bears to count. Really, it's a lot. But I'm very grateful for all of them.
So on reflection, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, not a great title, but it's worth a look.
Yeah.
Especially if you like.
I'm so proud of you for getting through to 14 episodes. Like, I really thought it was going to be a chore for you, but 14 is good.
Hey, my wife
is a very good run.
Di kept walking past and going, "You still watching?" I said, "There's so much to take in."
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm surprised that Di didn't like some of the songs in it, because they're really cleverly written.
When I said she was walking past, she was walking past. And I'd have the headphones on because I didn't want to.
She's slower than normal.
I didn't want to inflict the rest of Port Melbourne with some of that anxiety. I mean, we're in self-isolation. We're in the lockdown capital of the world. It's called Victoria. Melbourne. We should do a song. No, please. See what happens when you watch Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? Okay, so enough from me.
It's a dream for me.
I've given you a pass.
It's a dream for me.
What about the chore I gave you? I said,
okay, so you asked me to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was totally up for it. You said Billy Bob Thornton, and I said, okay, prepared to be whacked out of my brain. I was watching Goliath on Amazon Prime, and it is 4 seasons. I'm up to season 3. So clearly I'm enjoying it. Billy Bob plays a lawyer, a lawyer called Billy, who ends up.
That's a stretch, isn't it? Eh?
It is a stretch, yeah.
He does Billy well.
He does do Billy
and I love his daughter.
Oh yeah, his daughter is great.
And his secretaries, all of them, for all different reasons.
3 of them. It's so fascinating that this guy is surrounded by these women who are constantly caring about him.
But he's a charmer.
He is a charmer, absolutely. Patty is my favorite. And it's not just because she's Armenian. I genuinely love her. I think she's a really strong character.
She's a crazy, whacked out character. Strong.
She is.
Wild. I have never seen another Patty before. So she's brand new. That characterization. That's a new type character. I've never seen a woman or an actress run that role that strongly with that much charisma. So that's huge kudos to the actress.
Yeah. So Goliath, I guess, is based on this lawyer who is refusing to be a lawyer. Basically, he's an alcoholic and probably a lot of mental health issues. That
he had a case that went wrong, and there were dire consequences, and that shook his confidence. And that was the challenge, wasn't it? Yeah. Could he come? Yeah. Would he come back? Could he come back? And would he ever have the courage to take on his old firm, which has now become a veritable Goliath in the world of the law and order, run by crazy William Hurt. Wow.
Yeah, who I had to Google because his name was so familiar to me, but I couldn't make out the face under all the damage.
Under all the
and once I Googled
prosthesis,
him, yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, that's who it is. Like, it sounds like him exactly, but I couldn't picture it. Like, the work they did on him was amazing.
Yeah, true.
Like, it also just helped, like, the whole scene that they had him in. Everything just worked. That show, it was kind of long and dragged out, I felt, but there were a lot of interesting parts to it. something that kind of irritated me a little bit is that although Billy is meant to be this amazing lawyer, he's not very perceptive. And I think I noticed this more in the second season than I did in the first season.
Right.
Have you seen the second season?
I've seen all 4.
Oh, you've seen all 4.
And the interesting thing about Goliath is that each season brings a new case, a different case.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, they cover some very important topics. They talk about greed. They talk about corruption. You'll find out they talk about big pharma, one of the big stories that the world is wrestling with at the moment, where we have big pharmaceutical companies making billions upon billions of dollars. Are they helping society? Are they helping the world stay safe and healthy? Or are they just doing it for a quid? And these are the questions that are posed through these storylines in Goliath, in season 4 especially. But early on, it's about David, namely Billy, and his small batch of characters taking on the Goliaths of the world. Very interesting take, very cleverly written. And you're right. There are some idiosyncrasies, but I think they are what make it intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait till you get to season 4.
Well, it's interesting because what it does is it shows the audience what actually is happening.
Yeah.
So you see Billy's journey on trying to solve his case.
Yep. And you see the skullduggery. You see the skullduggery that goes on, and the level of criminality that some people are prepared to actually go all the way down the road to try and make sure that they can get that edge. And that's pretty disturbing. And the thing is, we're seeing it lived out in our news headlines almost every other day. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Yeah.
Goliath. You rate it?
Goliath. Yeah. I mean, I'll finish watching it.
Excellent.
But it won't be something that I would like repeat.
Well, Di is very, very proud of you. She loves Goliath.
Thanks.
And she's gone, wow. So has she seen season 1? I said she's seen 3, season 3. And Di's gone, hubba. Well done. But I've got a new one for you, and it's in a completely different direction. Are you
exciting
up for the challenge?
Yeah. I figured, by now I can tackle almost anything.
One in, all in, eh? All right, here we go.
Yep, let's do it.
It's on Netflix. I saw it. I think I can't tell you whether it was last year or this year, because
that's fine.
It all seems like it's in lockdown. It's
all 1 year.
It's all one day. It's like Groundhog, right? Sorry, the show's called, and it's only 1 season thus far, but season 2 is coming. It's called Shadow and Bone.
Shadow and Bone
on Netflix.
Is this I mean, I've not heard of it.
No.
Is it?
But it's been really well received. It looks spectacular. Right?
Cool.
So and it's completely different to anything you've seen thus far.
Okay. Yeah.
Shadow and Bone.
I'm excited.
Okay. So what's my chore?
Do you know, I've really struggled this week because I've been so engrossed with Goliath.
Whoa.
I haven't watched anything new.
I like that.
So I am trying to figure out what I should make you watch. And just before we started recording this, I was watching a little show and I thought, this might be it. It's got Graham Norton in it.
Yes.
So you're going to love it because I know you love Graham Norton.
What is it?
RuPaul's Drag Race.
No!
But the UK version. The UK version is so much more bearable than the US version. I mean, look, I love RuPaul's Drag Race. I I love it.
My brain's going, no. Okay, so what
Okay,
have
so
I
if
got
you
to
don't
watch?
want to watch that,
No.
if you don't want to watch that,
No.
okay, well, hang on. If you
All
don't
right.
want to watch that,
Mm.
then you should watch Nine Perfect Strangers.
9 Perfect
So you have a choice.
Strangers. It is. My
Really?
wife has seen it. My wife has seen it, and she raves over it. And I thought, I'm not going to watch it, but I've just been done in by my daughter.
Why
Of
won't you
all
watch
the
RuPaul's
people,
Drag
oh
Race? I wasn't even going to give you a full season. It's only
no,
the British version.
I'll watch 9 Perfect Strangers.
Okay, all right, cool. I'll just keep that up my sleeve for
I
next
saw
time then.
I saw a year's worth of RuPaul on was it the Emmys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was enough for me. I thought spectacular, colourful, enough. Thank you.
But it's such a great show.
Okay.
Oh,
9
okay. So Nine Perfect
Perfect
Strangers.
Strangers for next week. It's almost
Okay.
time for us to go.
Oh, well, I think it's very much time for us to go.
Do you want to say the goodbyes?
Yeah, I can. I think I can do that. Well, Dad, next week you will be watching Nine Perfect Strangers, and I will be watching Shadow and Bone.
Correct.
Is that it?
That's
wow,
it.
I got it right. That's amazing. Thank you so much. As always, it's been great to see the top of your head, and I look forward to next week.
Excellent. And if you do enjoy the podcast, make sure you like it for us. It'll please the higher ups. See you, Bubs. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Dad.